All right, so let's move on to Jonathan Villar, who is another intriguing player, and more so because his numbers appear to have been trending in the right direction before just last season, and there's some consistency to back that confidence. So, what did he do exactly in 2016 other than get more at bats to elevate his numbers? His BABIP certainly looks inflated at 373, but as Ralph mentioned when we talked about Christian Yelich, that's the type of player he is. It's less about luck and more about him playing to his strengths. He puts the ball on the ground and he utilizes his speed. He also tries to be a gap hitter instead of trying to crush bombs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So if you want to look at that BABIP number and say, oh, this is going to regress, no, look at his career numbers. That's the kind of hitter he is. And, it's not a luck-driven number for him. He still strikes out way more than you'd like. In fact, he strikes out a ton. But last year he did something different. It appears as though he learned how to take a walk, and that's what you want with a guy with this kind of speed. That's going to add to his stolen base totals. It's going to add to his run production. I'm definitely a believer in VR, especially his versatility. He can play all around the infield, but I'm also buying his regression a little. His home run and stolen base ratios nearly doubled last season, and they still weren't too shabby before that. If he can maintain his 2016 plate appearances and you exclude his 2016 performance, so in other words, go back to his career norms, he would be in line for 43 stolen bases and 11 home runs this season, which is a great baseline and still has room to grow just in case he really did elevate his game to a new level because he's still young. I believe he's 25 at this rate. He'll be 26
Yeah.
in 2017. I personally believe in VR's bat, but I think you're setting yourself up for trouble if you think he's the third best shortstop in fantasy. He's currently got an ADP of 21 overall, which puts him in the second round, which is just, you know, you're really, really, really a VR believer if you're going that far to take him. I think it's a huge risk, huge risk reward scenario, and it's just something that's a little too rich for my taste personally. But I definitely do believe in his bat. So take that for what it's worth.
Yeah, and I have to agree. He's somebody that's definitely tough to buy in at that current ADP. The numbers are great. I think Villar is a very good player. He's going to be a very useful fantasy player, but I like him a lot better at like Gene Segura's ADP. If I could get him in the late third round or the fourth round, I think I would take that chance. I don't think the batting average will be as high as it was last year, but conversely, he gets a lot of walks. So he's going to be good in on-base percentage leagues. I think he maintains that. That also helps the stolen base numbers. He ran 79 times last year. Obviously, he had 61 steals. I don't know if he'll run 79 times again, but I do think that you can see 35 plus steals as almost a certainty with him as long as he's healthy. And as you said, he gets the same number of at bats. I expect to see more of like a 250, 260 sort of an average. I doubt that the homers are at the level that they were. He was pretty high up there with just enough homers. If you look at those statistics on ESPN, he had 9 just enough homers. A lot of them are line drive homers. So he does make hard contact. He makes solid contact. He is a good hitter, but I think that the numbers are just going to be scaled down a little bit from last year. The average should be lower. He shouldn't have as many steals. I don't think he hits 19 homers again. I think it's probably somewhere more in the 12 to 15 range. Would probably make sense to me because, like I said, he does have power, but I just highly doubt he's going to have that sort of 19 homer or 20 homer number again. I just don't see it happening. And the 61 steals to me too, especially in this day and age, it's nearly impossible to project that out. So if you put him down for like a 260 average, maybe 13 to 14, 15 homers and 45 steals, I would totally buy into it. I think he's still going to score a lot of runs. He's going to help you in on-base percentage leagues. But the second round, that's another player that has bust written all over him.
Yeah, this second round that high, I want guys that I'm getting above average contributions from in multiple categories. You hit the number on the head for me.
Four.
I was going to set the over under at 45 on the steals. He's a steals guy primarily first. He's going to give you a little bit of the other stuff, but I don't think it's enough to justify him getting up there. I mean, a guy like Altuve, who is worth his position, is because talking about contributing above average to every category, he's going to give you the high steals. He's added power to his game. He's giving you runs. He's giving you high average. That's the kind of guy that, yeah, you say, okay, absolutely, I'm taking him in the first round. If he falls to second, even better. VR is a guy that with even just a little regression is not going to come close to matching that. As you mentioned, flip-flopping with Segura and put him in the fourth round, the versatility makes it so, and completely, backs that more, makes it feel more comfortable to accept. But at this level, 21st overall, I think you're reaching. And again, that's not to say we dislike him as a player. It's just to say we dislike his value. And you're going to find a hard time even trying to trade for a guy like that if he gets off to a slow start, because guys are going to be looking at him going, he's still a second round guy. I'm not trading a second round guy for a fifth round guy. And, you're going to be kind of stuck. So whether he gets off to a good start or bad start, he's going to hold that position because it's going to linger with people, which kind of just makes it a very risky pick to make.
Yeah, he's one of those players that on his face, I like him a lot. In, once again, dynasty keeper leagues, he's somebody I'm holding on to because he's somebody that you bought in and got at great value. So he's not somebody you're going to give away. But in redraft for where he's going, really tough.